The egg, one of the most complete and versatile foods in our kitchen. Rich in high-quality protein, vitamin D, choline, and antioxidants, it has been called nature's perfect package by many experts. Many of my patients, like you, Mary Thompson, 72, tell me they can't imagine breakfast without a good plate of scrambled or boiled eggs. But what if I told you that, depending on how you combine this food with others, it could be silently harming your health? And that this risk is even greater after age 60? Yes, it's possible that something so common in your routine is sapping your energy, your heart, and even your memory, and you don't even realize it. I am the Dr. William Tharnell, a physician specializing in senior health, with over 25 years of experience in geriatrics and integrative medicine. Today, I'll reveal the 3 forbidden egg combinations that can seriously affect the health of those over 60. And stick with me until the end, because the last one is the most common, and it's probably on your plate much more often than you think. If this topic has already caught your attention, take the opportunity to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. This way, more people can protect themselves and live with greater health and vitality. As we age, our bodies undergo changes we don't always notice, but which profoundly affect how we interact with food. After 60, metabolism slows, digestion becomes less efficient, and the absorption of certain nutrients decreases. This means that food combinations that previously didn't cause problems can now have a much greater impact. Think of your body as a car that's already driven many miles. The engine still runs well, but the internal parts need more care and cleaner fuel to continue delivering good performance. If this fuel is mixed with impurities, the risk of clogging and wearing out the parts is much greater. In the digestive system, for example, stomach acid production can decrease, hindering the breakdown of proteins and the absorption of essential minerals like iron and calcium. In the circulatory system, arteries tend to lose elasticity, becoming more susceptible to the accumulation of fatty plaques. And in the brain, any nutritional deficiency can affect memory and mental clarity more quickly than in younger people. That's why understanding which food combinations can harm you and which can help isn't just a detail. It's a fundamental strategy for maintaining your independence, energy, and quality of life. Before we talk about dangerous combinations, it's important to remember why eggs are so valued in our diets, especially for those over 60. Contrary to popular belief, they're not just a common breakfast food, they're a truly concentrated nutritional package, packed with essential substances to keep the body and mind functioning at their best. The egg is one of the most complete sources of biological value proteins. This means it contains all the essential amino acids that our bodies cannot produce on their own. For the elderly, this protein is essential in preventing sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle mass that occurs with age and is linked to falls, weakness, and loss of independence. Furthermore, the yolk is one of the best natural sources of HIL, a nutrient that plays a crucial role in brain health, helping with the formation of neurotransmitters and protecting memory. International studies show that adequate choline levels are associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline, a concern for many people over 60. Another important point is the vitamin D present in eggs, especially when hens are raised naturally and exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D helps maintain bone health, strengthen the immune system, and even improve emotional balance. In older people, a deficiency in this vitamin can increase the risk of fractures and infections. We cannot forget the lutein zeaxanthin, antioxidants present in the yolk that protect vision against age-related macular degeneration, one of the main causes of vision loss in the elderly worldwide. And here's a fun fact. A global survey published in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that moderate egg consumption within a balanced diet is linked to a reduced risk of stroke and an improvement in overall diet quality in people over 60. So the problem is not in the egg itself, it's a valuable ally in your diet. The real danger arises when we combine this incredible food with others that, together, create a harmful combination for the body, something we'll begin to explore in the next chapter. Now that we understand why eggs are so beneficial, we need to talk about the other side of the story, the combinations that turn this ally into a potential enemy to your health. What many people don't realize is that the human body doesn't process food in isolation. Each meal is like an orchestra of nutrients, and when certain instruments play out of tune, the result can be harmful. In the case of eggs, how they interact with other foods can drastically alter their final impact on your body. For those over 60, this becomes even more relevant. Changes in metabolism, digestion, and circulation mean that substances that were previously easily neutralized can now linger in the body longer, causing inflammation or overloading organs like the heart and kidneys. This is where calls come in: forbidden combinations, those pairs or trios of foods that, when consumed with eggs, increase the risk of cardiovascular problems, worsen the absorption of nutrients, or favor the accumulation of fat in the arteries. And be careful, what makes these combinations dangerous isn't just the calorie content or fat content. Often, they involve subtle, invisible chemical reactions that affect how your body utilizes, or fails to utilize, what you eat. It's like mixing two medications that, on their own, are beneficial, but combined can produce side effects. In the next chapters, we will reveal 3 combinations that are especially harmful for those over 62. Of them are relatively easy to avoid. But the third, which will be revealed last, is the most common, and is likely on the plates of millions of people every day, without them realizing the risk they face. Forbidden combination 1: eggs plus greasy bacon. Imagine this scenario. It's Sunday morning. The smell of fried eggs and bacon wafts through the kitchen. The scene seems straight out of a movie, and for many, it's a ritual of comfort and pleasure. But for those over 60, this combination can be more dangerous than it seems. Bacon, especially the fatty, processed kind, is rich in saturated fat trans fats, in addition to containing high levels of phosphodiaminitriticis as preservatives. When prepared with eggs, especially fried in oil or butter, it creates a double load of cholesterol and saturated fats that the elderly body may have difficulty metabolizing. Think of your arteries like water pipes. When they're new, they're better able to handle waste. But over time, these pipes can accumulate plaque, just as grease and grime build up inside old pipes. Bacon and fried eggs are like adding an extra layer of grease to these inner walls. This sticky wax can build up and restrict blood flow, increasing the risk of stroke, heart attack and stroke. Furthermore, studies published in The Circulation, a journal of the American Heart Association, show that frequent consumption of processed meats, such as bacon, is associated with a significantly higher risk of cardiovascular disease and premature mortality. In people over 60, this risk is even greater due to the body's reduced ability to deal with chronic inflammation. And there's one more detail: the cooking method. Bacon fried at high temperatures produces compounds called heterocyclic aminosan polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, substances associated with an increased risk of cancer, especially in the digestive system. So, even though the flavor is tempting for those looking to preserve the health of their heart, arteries, and brain in old age, this combination is like revving a car with an already sensitive engine. It might work for a while, but wear and tear will be inevitable. If you love the taste of eggs for breakfast, know that it's perfectly possible to maintain this habit and still take care of your health. The key is to replace fatty bacon with lighter, more nutritious, and equally tasty options. One of the best alternatives is to prepare scrambled or boiled eggs accompanied by grilled vegetables or lightly sautéed. Bell peppers, zucchini, spinach, and cherry tomatoes are great examples. Besides adding color and flavor, these vegetables provide fiber and antioxidants that help cleanse your arteries, rather than clogging them. Another option is to use extra virgin olive oil in preparation. This oil is rich in good fats, which help reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, and protect the heart. Just a teaspoon is enough to add flavor and benefits without overloading the meal with calories. For those who miss the crispy texture of bacon, there is a solution: turkey or chicken bacon, low-fat, baked in the oven until crispy. Another interesting alternative is pecan vegetal made with thin strips of eggplant or zucchini, seasoned with paprika and baked, surprisingly tasty. And remember, the goal is not to cut out the pleasure of food, but fit. You can, for example, add a handful of fresh herbs, add parsley, chives, and basil to eggs to intensify the flavor. The result is a beautiful, aromatic, and heartwarming dish. Think of it as swapping a bumpy road for a safe lane. The journey continues, but with much less risk of accidents along the way. Forbidden combination: 2 eggs plus strong black coffee. For many Americans, hot black coffee is almost a sacred morning ritual. And it's not uncommon for it to be accompanied by scrambled or fried eggs. But for those over 60, this combination can impair the absorption of important nutrients, even if it seems harmless at first glance. The problem is in tannins, compounds present in coffee that have the ability to bind to minerals such as iron. When this happens, the iron cannot be properly absorbed by the intestine and ends up being eliminated. This interaction is especially concerning for the elderly, as iron deficiency can lead to anemia, which causes constant fatigue, weakness, and even cognitive difficulties. Think of tannins as agum stuck in the lock. Iron is the key that should open the energy door in your body. But chewing gum blocks the entrance, preventing the key from working. The result is that, even when eating iron-rich foods, the body cannot fully utilize them. The impact may be even greater because, after age 60, the stomach tends to produce less hydrochloric acid, and this acid is already essential for breaking down proteins and releasing minerals. When we add low acidity to the tannins in coffee, the iron loss becomes significant. International studies, such as the one published in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, confirm that drinking coffee with meals can reduce iron absorption by more than 35%. For older adults, this accumulated loss over months can mean less energy, more difficulty performing daily tasks, and a greater vulnerability to infections. Therefore, although coffee has its benefits, such as improving attention and even protecting against some types of neurodegenerative diseases, when consumed with eggs, especially at breakfast, it can compromise an essential nutrient for maintaining vitality. The good news is that you don't have to give up coffee to protect your health. Just make a few simple adjustments to how and when you drink it. The most effective recommendation is separate coffee from the main meal that contains eggs or other sources of iron. Wait at least 1 hour after eating to drink your black coffee. This interval is sufficient for initial digestion and mineral absorption to occur without significant interference. Another strategy is to replace breakfast with drinks that do not contain tannins. One example is warm water with lemon, which hydrates, gently stimulates the digestive system, and provides vitamin C, a nutrient that, interestingly, improves iron absorption. Herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos are also safe and comforting options. If you can't resist drinking coffee with your meal, one option is to choose decaffeinated coffee or smoother blends, which have lower concentrations of tannins. Although the reduction is not complete, the impact on iron absorption tends to be smaller. And an important detail, when you combine eggs with vegetables rich in vitamin C, like bell peppers, tomatoes, or broccoli, you create a protective effect, as vitamin C helps neutralize some of the blockage caused by tannins. It's a simple and tasty way to balance your meal. This way, you maintain the pleasure of coffee in your routine, but transform the experience into something safe for your health, ensuring that your body receives all the iron it needs to maintain energy and stamina. Forbidden combination: 3 eggs plus excessive fatty cheese. Of all the combinations I'll present today, this is undoubtedly the most common at breakfasts and fast food restaurants, not just in the United States but around the world. Eggs with extra fat cheese. Whether in a stuffed omelet, an egg and melted cheese sandwich, or the classic cheese omelet, this combination is almost irresistible. But for those over 60, this combination can be a true silent enemy. The problem lies in the combination of saturated fats, cholesterol and sodium that full-fat cheese carries, especially varieties like cheddar, whole-fat mozzarella, and processed cheeses. When combined with fried or scrambled eggs, the result is a meal that puts a strain on the cardiovascular system. Imagine your arteries as garden hoses. Over time, they become less elastic. Now think of excess saturated fat as the extra pressure of water running through these aging hoses. With constant high blood pressure, the risk of leaks and ruptures, which, in our bodies, are equivalent to strokes and heart attacks, increases considerably. Furthermore, the excess sodium present in many cheeses causes fluid retention, further increasing blood pressure. For those who already have hypertension, this effect can be immediate, even causing headaches, bloating, and malaise. Studies by the World Health Organization indicate that frequent consumption of foods high in sodium and saturated fat is among the main factors contributing to cardiovascular disease in the elderly. And when it comes to full-fat cheese and eggs, this intake often exceeds the safe daily amount, especially if other salty foods are included in the same meal. The real danger is that, unlike bacon or coffee, which some people already associate with risks, cheese still has a reputation as a harmless food. And it's precisely this false sense of security that leads millions of people to eat this combination every day without realizing the cumulative health impact. If you're a fan of eggs and cheese, know that it's possible to keep this combination in your routine as long as it's done intelligently and adapted to your body's needs after age 60. The first change is to choose low-fat cheeses or low-fat. Varieties such as fresh ricotta, cottage soft goat cheese are good options because they're lower in saturated fat and sodium. Besides being lighter, these cheeses allow the egg flavor to shine through, creating a balanced meal. Another tip is to use cheese as seasoning, not as the main ingredient. Instead of completely covering the omelet with melted cheese, use small shavings or a light sprinkle of flour. This simple reduction significantly reduces the fat and salt content while maintaining the pleasant flavor. To add creaminess without compromising your health, try replacing some of the cheese with mashed avocado rich in healthy fats. Avocados provide a smooth texture and antioxidants that help protect the heart and brain. Another option is to prepare creamy scrambled eggs with a touch of unsweetened natural yogurt, a trick used by chefs to increase tenderness and add beneficial probiotics to the meal. And, to intensify the flavor, abuse the fresh herbs and natural seasonings. Chives, parsley, oregano, and basil not only enhance the taste but also offer anti-inflammatory compounds. With these adaptations, you transform a potentially harmful combination into a dish that nourishes, protects, and, at the same time, pleases the palate. True proof that eating well and taking care of your health can go hand in hand. Cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide, and the elderly are at the highest risk. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, nearly 17.9 million people die every year due to heart and circulatory problems, and more than half of these deaths occur in people over 60 years old. In the United States, data from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, show that approximately 4 in 5 deaths from cardiovascular disease occur in older adults. This means that, as you pass 60, every food choice becomes even more strategic. The big challenge is that many of these diseases develop silently. Hypertension, plaque buildup in the arteries, and chronic inflammation don't cause obvious symptoms at first. It's like having a small crack in the wall of your house. It doesn't attract attention at first, but over time, it can compromise the entire structure. When we combine this scenario with the frequent consumption of combinations rich in saturated fats, sodium, and inflammatory substances, like those discussed in this video, the risk increases. This happens because, after 60, the body loses some of its ability to repair damage and cope with spikes in blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose. The good news is that up to 80% of cardiovascular diseases can be prevented with lifestyle changes, including simple dietary adjustments. This means that even if you've had years of unhealthy habits, it's never too late to start taking care of your heart. Every healthy meal is a step in the right direction. Knowledge is the first line of defense. Knowing which combinations to avoid and how to adapt them is more than a medical recommendation. It's a strategy for living longer and better, with the autonomy and energy to enjoy each day. Even though they know eggs are nutritious, many older adults make mistakes in their preparation that end up reducing their benefits and even harming their health. These mistakes often go unnoticed, but when added together over the years, they can have a significant impact. Mistake 1: using too much oil or butter. Frying eggs in excess refined vegetable oil or butter adds large amounts of saturated fat and unnecessary calories. Over time, this contributes to increased bad cholesterol, LDL, and plaque buildup in the arteries. Solution: prefer to cook eggs in water, hard-boiled, or use extra virgin olive oil in small quantities. Another alternative is a non-stick frying pan, which practically eliminates the need for oil. Mistake 2: using hydrogenated margarine. Many people still believe that margarine is lighter than butter, but hydrogenated margarine contains trans fats, one of the most harmful types for the heart, associated with chronic inflammation and increased cardiovascular risk. Solution: eliminate hydrogenated margarines. If you need a boost of flavor, use quality butter in small amounts or opt for trans fat-free plant-based spreads. Mistake 3. Overdoing it with salt. Adding too much salt to eggs, especially when they're already combined with high-sodium ingredients, like cheese, ham, or bacon, can quickly raise your blood pressure. Solution: use natural seasonings like oregano, saffron, turmeric, chives, or parsley to enhance the flavor without overloading your body with salt. Mistake 4. Overcooking the egg. An egg that is overcooked or fried at a very high temperature can oxidize the cholesterol present in the yolk, making it more harmful to the body. Solution: cook over medium heat and remove from heat once it reaches the desired consistency. This preserves nutrients and prevents harmful compounds. Mistake 5. Reusing oil to fry eggs. Reusing oil used in previous frying generates toxic compounds that overload the liver and increase inflammation. Solution: always use fresh oil or, preferably, cooking methods that do not require frying. Avoiding these simple mistakes can turn a risky egg dish into a truly healthy meal that protects your heart, brain, and vitality. Throughout this video, we saw that eggs, despite being an extremely nutritious food, can become a problem when combined with certain ingredients, especially for those over 60. A first prohibited combination here was eggs with greasy bacon, a mixture rich in saturated fats, sodium, and preservatives, which overloads the arteries and increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Furthermore, the high-temperature frying method also adds harmful compounds to the body. A second prohibited combination here was eggs with strong black coffee. Here, the risk lies in the tannins in coffee, which block iron absorption and, over time, can contribute to anemia, fatigue, and loss of vitality. And third prohibited combination, and the most common, was eggs with excessively fatty cheese. This duo contains large amounts of saturated fat and sodium, raising blood pressure and increasing the strain on the heart. What these three combinations have in common is that they can all be replaced with lighter, tastier, and more protective alternatives. The secret isn't to eliminate eggs, but rather to adapt them to your body's needs as you mature, choosing accompaniments that enhance their benefits, not negate them. Remember, every meal is an opportunity to strengthen your health. The choices you make every day, no matter how small they seem, shape your well-being and quality of life for years to come. My goal with this video isn't to take away the pleasure of eating, but rather to empower you with the knowledge you need to make choices that protect your health and extend your independence. Eating well doesn't mean sacrificing flavor, but rather learning how to combine foods intelligently, reaping their benefits and avoiding hidden pitfalls. Starting today, you know which combinations to avoid and how to replace them with options that will nourish your body and care for your heart. If each meal is prepared with care and attention, your body will respond with more energy, and more years of healthy living. I want you to remember that taking care of your health is an act of self-love, and that every small daily change is an important step on that journey. Share this video with your friends and family. Maybe someone you love is unknowingly making one of these mistakes, and today's information could make all the difference for them. If you enjoyed this content, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me which of these combinations you consume most and which you'll change from now on. Your engagement is what keeps this work alive and helping more and more people. I'm Dr. William Tharnell. It's been an honor to join you here. See you in the next video. And until then, take care of yourself, because no one else can live your life for you.